Star Volume 1, The Villainess Who Heard My Heart. Chapter 1, The Hero Who Should Have Killed Her. Long-form light novel chapter, part 1 of 4. Narration. The sky above Highwall City burned a deep, angry red, as if the heavens themselves were ashamed of what had transpired. Smoke drifted lazily through the broken streets, carrying the scent of scorched stone and the metallic tang of spent magic. The once proud capital of the Western Kingdom lay in ruins, shattered walls, collapsed towers, and the lingering echo of a battle that should never have happened. And at the center of the devastation stood the woman the world feared most, Lady Seraphine Duskfall. Her raven-black hair fluttered in the wind, strands catching the dying light like threads of midnight silk. Her violet eyes glowed faintly with arcane power, cold and distant, as if she were staring at something far beyond the mortal world. Her dress, torn, soot-stained, and still somehow elegant, clung to her like a shadow refusing to let go. She looked like a fallen star, wrapped in darkness. Aaron thinking, she's terrifying and beautiful. Why is she beautiful right now? Why is that the first thing my brain decides to scream? Seraphine, did you just think that at me? Narster. Aaron Veilstar, hero of the 6 races, bearer of the sun-forged blade, slayer of the abyssal hydra, froze mid-step. He had faced dragons, demons, and horrors that crawled out of the void between worlds. None of them made him sweat like this woman. Aaron. That's not, I mean. Aaron thinking. Please stop hearing my thoughts. Please stop hearing my thoughts. Please stop. Seraphine. You're loud and pathetic. Narster. Her voice was cold, but her ears, they were slightly pink. The hero's party stood behind Aaron, each of them wearing a different flavor of disbelief. Lyra Dawnwhisper, the elven mage, stepped forward. Her silver hair glowed faintly with mana, and her emerald eyes narrowed with suspicion. Lyra. Hero, why is the villainess blushing? Aaron thinking. She's cute when she's embarrassed. Seraphine. I am not embarrassed. Garrick. She heard that lad. Narster. Garrick Stonefist, the dwarven warrior, crossed his arms over his barrel-like chest. His beard was singed from the battle, but his expression was the same as always, unimpressed and mildly annoyed. Mira. This is going to be fun. Narster. Myra Windstride, the beastkin scout, flicked her tail with amusement. Her golden eyes sparkled with mischief, and she leaned toward Lyra. Mira. I give it 3 days before he confesses. Lyra. 3, you're generous, I give it 1. Aaron thinking. I hate all of you. Seraphine. At least someone here is honest. Narster. Priestess Elowen, the healer, stepped forward with a sigh. Her white robes were torn, her golden hair disheveled, but her voice remained gentle. Elowen. Hero, please stop thinking inappropriate things during a crisis. Aaron. I'm not doing it on purpose. Aaron thinking. I'm absolutely doing it on purpose. Seraphine. Unbelievable. Narster. The wind shifted. The smoke parted, and the truth of the battlefield became clear. Highwall City had not fallen to Seraphine. It had fallen to something else. A monstrous, twisted creature lay dead behind her, a fusion of void corruption and ancient magic, its body still steaming. Its claws were large enough to tear through castle walls. Its maw was filled with rows of jagged teeth. Its blood, thick, black, and smoking, pooled across the cobblestones. Seraphine had killed it. Alone. And the world would never believe her. Aaron thinking. She saved the city, and they'll still call her a monster. Seraphine. Stop that. Aaron. Stop what? Seraphine. Thinking things that make my chest feel strange. Narster. She turned away sharply, her cloak swirling behind her like a living shadow. But Aaron saw it. The tremble in her hands. The exhaustion in her steps. The loneliness in her eyes. She wasn't the villain here. She never had been. But the world needed someone to blame. And she had been born with the wrong kind of magic. Part 2. The weight of a name. Nerster. The wind howled through the broken archways of Highwall's central plaza, carrying with it the faint echoes of a city that had once been alive. Merchants shouting prices, children laughing, guards bickering over dice games, all of it swallowed by the silence left in the wake of destruction. Aaron stepped forward, boots crunching over shattered stone. His cape, torn and dust-stained, fluttered behind him like a wounded banner. The sun-forged blade at his hip pulsed faintly, reacting to the lingering corruption in the air. But Aaron wasn't looking at the ruins. He was looking at her. Seraphine Duskfall stood with her back to him, shoulders tense, as if bracing for a blow that never came. Her hands were clenched at her sides, nails digging into her palms hard enough to draw blood. She didn't flinch when he approached. She didn't turn. She simply spoke, her voice low and brittle. Seraphine. You should say it, hero. Nerster. Aaron blinked. Aaron. Say what? Seraphine. My name. Say it like the rest of the world does. Say it with fear, with hatred, with disgust. Nerster. Her voice trembled barely, but enough for Aaron to hear it. Aaron thinking. She thinks that's all she deserves. Seraphine. Stop that. Aaron. Stop what? Seraphine. Thinking things that make me. Never mind. Nerster. She turned her head slightly, just enough for Aaron to see her profile. Her eyes were distant, unfocused, as if she were staring at a memory instead of the ruined city around them. Seraphine. Do you know what they called me when I was a child? Aaron thinking. Beautiful. Seraphine. Wrong. Garrick. Lad, maybe keep the thoughts to yourself for a bit. Mira. He can't, that's the whole problem. Lyra. It's not a problem, it's entertainment. Eloin. Lyra, please. Nerster. Seraphine exhaled slowly, her breath visible in the cold air. Seraphine. They called me a curse. A walking omen. A child born with magic that should not exist. Nerster. She lifted her hand. Dark energy flickered across her fingertips, not wild, not chaotic, but controlled. Disciplined. Beautiful. Aaron thinking. She's not a curse, she's... Seraphine. Don't say it. Aaron. I didn't say anything. Seraphine. You thought it, loudly. Nerster. She finally turned to face him fully. Her eyes, those violet, starlit eyes, were filled with something Aaron had never seen in her before. Fear. Not of him. Of herself. Seraphine. You should kill me, hero. Nerster. The words hit him like a physical blow. Aaron. What? Seraphine. That's what heroes do. They slay monsters. And I am the greatest monster this world has ever created. Aaron thinking. No, you're not. Seraphine. Stop saying that. Nerster. Her voice cracked. Just a little. Just enough. Aaron stepped closer, slowly, carefully, as if approaching a wounded animal that might bolt at any moment. Aaron. Seraphine. Nerster. She stiffened. Aaron. I'm not going to kill you. Seraphine. You should. Aaron. I won't. Seraphine. You must. Aaron. I refuse. Nerster. Silence fell between them, heavy, fragile, electric. Then Seraphine laughed. Not a cruel laugh. Not a mocking one. A broken one. Seraphine. You're a fool, Aaron Veilstar. Aaron thinking. If caring about you makes me a fool, then I'll be the biggest idiot alive. Seraphine. Why do you say things like that? Aaron. I didn't say anything. Seraphine. You thought it. Nerster. Her cheeks flushed, faint, but unmistakable. Lyra elbowed Myra. Lyra. Told you, one day. Mira. Damn it, I owe you 5 gold. Garrick. I had never, for the record. Eloin. Garrick, that's cruel. Garrick. I'm a dwarf, cruelty's in the beard. Nerster. A distant rumble shook the plaza. The ground trembled. A crack split the cobblestones beneath their feet. Aaron's hand flew to his sword. Aaron. Everyone, get ready. Nerster. From the shadows of a collapsed tower, something stirred. Something massive. Something wrong. A second void creature. The one Seraphine hadn't killed. Its eyes glowed with sickly green light, its body a writhing mass of tendrils and bone. It roared, a sound that shook the heavens. Lyra raised her staff. Lyra. Hero, orders. Aaron thinking. Protect Seraphine, protect Seraphine, protect. Seraphine. I can fight, you idiot. Aaron. I know, but... Aaron thinking. I don't want you hurt. Seraphine. You're impossible. Nerster. The creature lunged. Aaron drew his blade. Seraphine raised her hands. And the hero's party charged into battle. Part 3, the battle that shouldn't have happened. Nerster. The void creature surged forward, its tendrils slamming into the ground with enough force to crack the stone beneath them. The air rippled with corrupted mana, thick and suffocating, like breathing through tar. Its roar shook the ruined plaza, scattering debris and sending a flock of soot-covered ravens screaming into the sky. Aaron didn't hesitate. He stepped in front of Seraphine, blade drawn, the sun-forged steel igniting with golden light. Aaron. Everyone, formation Delta. Nerster. The hero's party moved instantly, years of training snapping into place like clockwork. Lyra raised her staff, runes spiraling around her as she began weaving a containment barrier. Myra darted to the flank, her movements a blur as she searched for weak points. Garrick planted his shield in the ground, bracing himself like a living bulwark. Eloin whispered a prayer, her hands glowing with soft, healing light. And Seraphine. Seraphine stepped forward. Her eyes burned with violet fire. Seraphine. I'll take the front. Aaron. No, I will. Seraphine. You're injured. Aaron. So are you. Seraphine. I'm used to it. Aaron thinking. That's not something you should be used to. Seraphine. Stop thinking things that make me. Never mind, just focus. Nerster. The creature lunged again, its tendrils whipping through the air like serrated whips. Aaron blocked the first strike, the impact rattling his bones. Seraphine countered the second, her dark magic slicing through corrupted flesh like a blade of shadow. The two of them moved in sync. Perfect sync. As if they had fought together for years. Lyra noticed it first. Lyra. Is it just me, or are they matching each other's movements? Mira. Matching, they're practically dancing. Garrick. A deadly, terrifying dance. Eloin. It's beautiful. Nerster. Aaron ducked under a tendril, slashing upward in a golden arc. Seraphine mirrored him, her magic forming a crescent of violet flame that collided with his strike. The combined force tore through the creature's limb, sending corrupted ichor spraying across the plaza. The beast shrieked. Aaron pressed forward. Aaron thinking. I won't let it touch her. Seraphine. I can protect myself. Aaron. I know, but... Aaron thinking. I don't want you hurt. Seraphine. You're infuriating. Nerster. The creature reared back, gathering energy in its core. A sickly green glow pulsed through its body, building toward a catastrophic blast. Lyra's eyes widened. Lyra. It's going to detonate. Hero. Nerster. Aaron didn't think. He moved. He grabbed Seraphine by the waist and pulled her against him, turning his back to the explosion as he raised his sword. Golden light erupted from the blade, forming a radiant barrier around them. The blast hit. The world went white. Stone shattered. Air screamed. Magic tore through the plaza like a hurricane. When the light faded, Aaron was still standing, barely, his arms locked around Seraphine, shielding her with everything he had. His knees buckled. He collapsed. Seraphine caught him before he hit the ground. Seraphine. Aren. Nerster. Her voice cracked, raw, terrified, unguarded. She knelt beside him, her hands trembling as she cupped his face. Her magic flared instinctively, dark energy swirling around her like a storm. Seraphine. Why would you do something so stupid? Aaron, thinking weak. Because I love you. Nerster. She froze. Her breath hitched. Her eyes widened, not with anger, not with disgust, but with something far more fragile. Fear. Hope. Both. Seraphine. You can't say things like that. Aaron. I didn't say it. Seraphine. You thought it. Aaron thinking. Still true. Seraphine. Stop. Nerster. Her hands shook harder. Not with rage. With something she didn't know how to name. The void creature staggered, its body collapsing in on itself. Myra leapt onto its back, driving her daggers into its core. Garrick slammed his hammer into its skull. Lyra unleashed a torrent of arcane fire. Eloin's prayers sealed the corruption. The beast fell. Silence returned. But Seraphine didn't move. She stayed kneeling beside Aaron, her fingers tangled in his shirt, her breath uneven. Seraphine. You're an idiot. A reckless, infuriating, impossible idiot. Aaron thinking. If it means keeping you safe, I'll be the biggest idiot alive. Nerster. Her eyes softened. Just a little. Just enough. Seraphine. Don't ever do that again. Aaron. No promises. Seraphine. Aren. Nerster. But her voice wasn't angry. It was scared. And that scared her more than anything. Part 4, Chains of Light, Chains of Lies. Nerster. The dust settled slowly over Highwall's ruined plaza, drifting like ash from a dying fire. The void creature's corpse dissolved into black mist, leaving behind only scorch marks and the faint stench of corruption. The battle was over. But the real danger was only beginning. Aaron struggled to his feet, leaning heavily on his sword. His body ached, his vision blurred, but he forced himself upright. Seraphine hovered beside him, hands half raised as if she wanted to help but didn't know how. Seraphine. You're hurt. Aaron. I've been worse. Aaron thinking. But I've never been this close to you. Seraphine. Stop that. Nerster. Before Aaron could respond, a blinding column of white light descended from the sky, slamming into the plaza with divine force. The ground cracked. The air hummed. The hero's party shielded their eyes. When the light faded, a dozen armored figures stood in formation. The Etherian Council Guard, clad in radiant silver armor, their spears glowing with holy enchantments. At their head stood High Inquisitor Valen Arcturus, a tall man with hair like polished steel and eyes as cold as winter glass. His presence alone made the air feel heavier. He surveyed the battlefield. He saw the ruins. He saw the void creature's remains. And then he saw her. Seraphine. His expression hardened. Valen. Sees the Witch of the Black Star. Nerster. Seraphine didn't move. She didn't resist. She simply lowered her gaze, as if she had expected this. Aaron stepped forward instantly. Aaron. Wait. Valen. Hero Veilstar, stand down. Aaron. She didn't cause this. She saved the city. Valen. A convenient claim. One that only you seem willing to make. Nerster. Two guards approached Seraphine, their spears crackling with binding magic. She didn't lift a finger to stop them. She simply closed her eyes. Seraphine. It's fine. Aaron. No, it's not. Aaron thinking. Why won't you fight back? Why won't you defend yourself? Seraphine. Because this is what the world wants. What it expects. What it understands. Nerster. The guards snapped enchanted shackles around her wrists, glowing chains of pure light that hissed against her skin. She winced, but made no sound. Lyra stepped forward, fury in her eyes. Lyra. High Inquisitor, with all due respect, the hero's party witnessed the battle. Seraphine fought with us. She protected civilians. She. Valen. Silence elf. Nerster. Lyra's jaw tightened. Myra growled under her breath. Garrick muttered something unflattering in Dwarvish. Elowen clasped her hands in prayer, her expression pained. Valen turned his gaze back to Aaron. Valen. Your duty is to slay the villainess, not defend her. Aaron. My duty is to protect the innocent. Valen. She is not innocent. Aaron thinking. She is. Seraphine. Stop it. Nerster. Her voice was barely a whisper. Seraphine. Stop defending me. Stop thinking things that make this harder. Aaron. Seraphine. Seraphine. Please. Nerster. It was the first time she had ever said that word to him. Aaron's heart twisted. The guards pulled her forward. She stumbled, the chains burning against her wrists. Aaron reached out instinctively. And Valen stepped between them. Valen. Touch her, hero, and I will consider it treason. Nerster. Aaron's hand hovered in the air, trembling. Aaron thinking. I won't let them take you. Seraphine. Don't. Don't make this worse. Nerster. Her eyes met his, violet, trembling, filled with something he had never seen in her before. Resignation. She had already accepted her fate. But Aaron hadn't. Not even close. Valen raised his hand. Valen. By order of the Etherian Council, Seraphine Duskfall is hereby placed under arrest for crimes against the realm, including Nerster. He listed them, one by one. Dozens of accusations. Most false. Some exaggerated. A few twisted beyond recognition. Seraphine didn't deny a single one. She simply stood there, chains glowing, head bowed. Aaron felt something inside him snap. Aaron. Enough. Nerster. Valen paused. Valen. What did you say? Aaron. I said enough. Nerster. Aaron stepped forward, placing himself between Seraphine and the Inquisitor. His sword remained sheathed, but the air around him crackled with barely restrained power. Lyra's eyes widened. Myra's tail froze mid-swish. Garrick muttered, "Oh hells." Elowen whispered a prayer. Valen narrowed his eyes. Valen. Hero Veilstar, step aside. Aaron. No. Nerster. The plaza fell silent. Even the wind seemed to stop. Valen's voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. Valen. You would defy the council, for her. Aaron. Yes. Aaron thinking. Always. Nerster. Seraphine's breath caught. Her chains flickered. Her eyes widened, not with anger, not with annoyance, but with something far more fragile. Hope. Seraphine. Aaron. Nerster. Valen's expression darkened. Valen. Then you leave me no choice. Nerster. He raised his hand. Light gathered. Power surged. And the hero's party braced for the moment everything changed. Part 5. The hero who refused his chains. Nerster. The air around High Inquisitor Valen Arcturus shimmered with divine light, the kind that made mortals bow and monsters flee. His armor glowed with runes of judgment, each one pulsing like a heartbeat. The plaza trembled beneath the weight of his magic. Aaron stood his ground. Seraphine, still bound in chains of holy light, stared at him with wide, disbelieving eyes. Her breath caught in her throat. She had seen heroes before, arrogant, cruel, righteous to the point of blindness. But she had never seen one defy the world for her. Valen's voice cut through the silence like a blade. Valen. Hero Veilstar, you will step aside, now. Aaron. No. Nerster. The word echoed across the ruined plaza, louder than any battle cry. Lyra's staff trembled in her hands. Myra's tail puffed up like an angry cat. Garrick muttered a dwarven curse that would have made a sailor blush. Elowen clasped her hands tighter, whispering a prayer for courage or sanity. Valen's eyes narrowed. Valen. You are sworn to the council, to the realm, to the prophecy. Aaron. I'm sworn to protect people. Valen. She is not people. Aaron thinking. She is more human than any of you. Seraphine. Aaron stop. Nerster. Her voice was soft. Pleading. Terrified. Not for herself. For him. Valen raised his hand. Light gathered in his palm, forming a spear of pure judgment. Valen. If you will not obey, then you will be punished. Nerster. The guards tightened their grip on their weapons. The air crackled with tension. The hero's party shifted uneasily, waiting for Aaron's command. Aaron didn't move. He simply placed his hand on the hilt of his sword. Not drawing it. Not threatening. Just ready. Aaron. If you attack her, you'll have to go through me. Nerster. The world seemed to stop. Even the wind held its breath. Valen's expression twisted, not with anger, but with something far colder. Disappointment. Valen. So be it. Nerster. He thrust the spear of light forward. Seraphine screamed. Seraphine. Aren. Nerster. Aaron moved faster than thought. He stepped in front of her. The spear struck his chest. Light exploded. The plaza shook. Lyra cried out. Myra lunged forward. Garrick roared. Elowen's prayers turned frantic. When the light faded, Aaron was still standing. Barely. Smoke curled from his armor. Blood dripped from his lips. His knees trembled, but he did not fall. He stared Valen down with eyes that burned brighter than the spear that had struck him. Aaron. Is that all you've got? Nerster. Valen's eyes widened. Not because Aaron survived, but because the chains binding Seraphine had cracked. A single fracture. A hairline break. But enough. Seraphine felt it. Her breath hitched. Her magic surged. The chains glowed violently, then shattered. Light scattered like broken glass. Seraphine rose to her feet, her hair whipping around her like a storm. Her eyes blazed with violet fire. Seraphine. Touch him again, and I will show you what a real monster looks like. Nerster. Valen stepped back. For the first time, the High Inquisitor looked uncertain. Lyra whispered under her breath. Lyra. Oh gods, she's furious. Mira. I've never been more attracted to someone in my life. Garrick. Remind me never to piss her off. Elowen. Hero, please don't die. Nerster. Seraphine knelt beside Aaron, her hands trembling as she touched his face. Her magic flared instinctively, dark energy swirling around her fingers. Seraphine. You idiot. You reckless, impossible idiot. Why would you do that? Aaron, thinking weak. Because I love you. Seraphine. Stop saying that. Aaron. Didn't say it. Seraphine. You thought it. Nerster. Her voice cracked. Aaron smiled weakly. Aaron. Still true. Nerster. Seraphine's breath shuddered. Her eyes softened. Her hands tightened around his. And for a moment, a brief, fragile moment, the world around them disappeared. Just the two of them. A hero who refused to kill her. A villainess who didn't know how to be loved. Valen broke the silence. Valen. This changes nothing. Seraphine Duskfall will be taken into custody. And if you stand in the way again, hero, I will strip you of your title. Nerster. Aaron's eyes hardened. Aaron. Then take it. Nerster. Gasps rippled through the plaza. Lyra's jaw dropped. Myra's tail froze mid-swish. Garrick whispered, by the Stonefather. Eloin covered her mouth. Seraphine stared at him, as if he had just torn the sky open. Seraphine. Aaron, you can't. Aaron. I can. And I will. Nerster. He stood, slowly, painfully, and placed himself between Seraphine and the Inquisitor once more. Aaron. If protecting her means losing everything, then I'll lose it gladly. Nerster. Seraphine's heart stopped. Her breath caught. Her magic faltered. And for the first time in her life, she felt something break inside her. Not pain. Not fear. Something else. Part 6, the choice that shattered the realm. Nerster. The plaza felt colder than winter steel. Aaron stood between Seraphine and the Inquisitor, battered, bleeding, and unyielding. His cape fluttered in the wind like a torn banner of rebellion. The sun-forged blade at his hip pulsed faintly, reacting to the tension in the air. Valen Arcturus lowered his hand slowly, the divine spear dissolving into motes of light. His expression was unreadable, a mask carved from marble. Valen, you would throw away your title, your honor, your destiny. For her. Aaron. Yes. Nerster. The words struck the plaza like a thunderclap. Seraphine's breath caught. Her fingers curled around the broken remnants of her chains. Her eyes trembled, not with fear, but with something far more dangerous. Hope. Valen's voice dropped to a chilling whisper. Valen. Then you are no longer the hero of the 6 races. Nerster. Aaron felt the weight of the words settle on his shoulders. The title he had carried since he was 16, gone. The destiny he had been raised for severed. The world he had sworn to protect, now turning its back on him. But when he looked at Seraphine, he didn't regret a thing. Aaron thinking, if saving you means losing everything, then I'll lose it all again. Seraphine. Stop. Stop thinking things like that. Nerster. Her voice shook. Not with anger. With fear. For him. Valen raised his hand again, not to attack but to signal. A dozen council guards stepped forward, weapons drawn, forming a circle around Aaron and Seraphine. Lyra's eyes widened. Lyra. Hero. No, Aaron, what do we do? Mira. Say the word, and I'll gut the shiny bastards. Garrick. I've been itching to crack some holy skulls. Eloin. Please don't gut anyone. But I'll stand with you. Nerster. Aaron turned to them, his party, his friends, his family. Aaron. I'm not asking you to fight the council. Nerster. Lyra stepped forward. Lyra. Too late, we already decided. Mira. We follow you. Garrick, wherever you go. Eloin, even into darkness. Nerster. Seraphine stared at them, stunned. Seraphine. Why would you all? Lyra. Because Aaron believes in you. Mira. And he's usually right. Garrick. Except about cooking. Eloin. And fashion. Aaron thinking. I'm surrounded by traitors. Seraphine. You're all insane. Nerster. But her voice was soft. Almost warm. Valen's patience snapped. Valen. Enough. Guards, take them all. Nerster. The guards surged forward. Aaron drew his sword. Seraphine raised her hands. Lyra's staff ignited with arcane fire. Myra vanished into the shadows. Garrick slammed his shield into the ground. Eloin whispered a prayer of protection. The first guard lunged. Aaron parried, sparks flying. Seraphine unleashed a wave of violet flame, sending 2 guards crashing into a broken wall. Lyra's barrier flared, deflecting a spear of light. Myra reappeared behind a guard, sweeping his legs out from under him. Garrick charged like a living battering ram. Eloin's magic wrapped around Aaron, sealing his wounds just enough to keep him standing. The battle was chaos. Holy light clashed with shadow flame. Steel rang against steel. Magic tore through the air like lightning. But the heroes' party fought as one. And Seraphine fought with them. For the first time in her life. She wasn't alone. Valen watched, fury simmering beneath his calm exterior. Valen. So this is your choice, Aaron Veilstar. Rebellion, treason. All for a witch who will destroy you. Aaron. You're wrong. Aaron thinking. She's the one person worth saving. Seraphine. Aren. Nerster. Her voice cracked, raw, terrified, unguarded. A guard broke through the line, swinging his spear toward Aaron's exposed side. Seraphine moved faster than thought. She stepped in front of him. The spear struck her. She gasped. Aaron's world stopped. Aaron. Esire Pichani. Nerster. He caught her as she fell, her blood staining his hands. Her breath trembled. Her eyes fluttered. Seraphine. Idiot. I told you. Not to protect me. Aaron thinking. I can't lose you. I can't. Seraphine. Stop thinking. Things that make my chest hurt. Nerster. Her fingers curled weakly around his shirt. Valen stepped forward, spear forming in his hand once more. Valen. This ends now. Nerster. Aaron rose slowly, Seraphine in his arms, his eyes burning with a fury the world had never seen from him. Aaron. No. It begins now. Nerster. Light erupted from the sun-forged blade. Shadow flared from Seraphine's wounded form. The 2 magics intertwined, gold and violet, swirling around them like a storm. The guards staggered back. Valen shielded his eyes. And Aaron whispered the words that would change the fate of the realm. Aaron. We're leaving. Nerster. Lyra nodded. Myra grinned. Garrick cracked his knuckles. Eloin whispered a prayer of courage. And together, the fallen hero, the condemned Villainess, and the party that chose them, vanished into the smoke-filled ruins of Highwall. The rebellion had begun.